Hi, it's Robert Bagley, and this is my goals for 2016 part 2. Last week I had made a video to talk about some of my goals personally and professionally, and just to recap, personally I wanted to spend more time with family, take a vacation, do some make sure I took a break once a week for a good 24 hours every week. Take the Sabbath and just make sure I'm resting my brain and my body and feeding it with spiritual and family type activities. So, and then the rest of my goals were really revolved around my corporate job and building the position I have in my corporate job with the team that I have and helping them build their businesses. So this week I want to talk about, or part 2 I should say, I'd like to talk about the goals I have for my online businesses, and all that is part-time now. If you've been following me, you know I left a corporate job to go into Amazon FBA full-time, did that full-time for 9 months, and then for a plethora of reasons, which I wrote in a book called Lessons Learned, I went back to corporate America and kept the Amazon business part-time. Just to clear up any confusion, I am still running my FBA business part-time, weekends only, because that's the only time I'm home. Hey, it's Periscope, it's Sunday morning, and so I got one heart from somebody. Not sure, it looked like an accidental heart, but hi there. I don't see who that is, but thank you for the love. Appreciate that. And I do appreciate all of the followers that have supported my YouTube channel, supported my book, followed my story. And I hope it's encouraging to you. And I've learned so much from all of you in the Facebook groups and the YouTube channels and just the circles that surround e-commerce and e-publishing. So here goes. I'm going to give you some of my goals around my FBA business. Again, still have products on there. Probably run with about a dozen products that I do replens every week. They sell. They're the types of products in clothing and in grocery that people buy a lot of all the time. And coffee is probably one of my biggest grocery items. So and a plethora of different coffees that I sell. So I'll keep going with that. And my goal really is to just sustain a nice, between $10,000 and $13,000 a month in gross, and just keep getting my profit margins up higher and higher. That business still needs to operate because it has debt from when I was running it full time and trying to take all of my household expenses out of the business, which is why I went back to corporate America. So I had a pretty high household budget, so it was a great test to try it. I think if I didn't need so much to supply the needs of the household, then that probably would have worked full time, because I think a lot of people can make a 6-figure income no problem doing Amazon FBA. I just needed more than that. So anyway, gonna keep plugging away with that, because it's I put a lot of time and energy and research into the products that are selling. And so I have to pay off debt and keep that business going. So in that, I will certainly, look at other products along the way. You never, stop looking. And clothing, I do a lot of underwear type stuff. If people know what I like to sell, underwear and socks, that type of thing with clothing sells really well. Leggings, obviously, hot thing. So anyway, I'm going to keep working on that. With the publishing business, by the way, everybody last week who took advantage of the free download of my book, Lessons Learned, 1,000 downloads. That was pretty cool. So thank you all for supporting that. 1,000 downloads in 4 or 5 days. That's again, a couple hundred downloads, free downloads. Again, I don't make any money on that, but it's just nice to see the support and people are interested in the content. It's very encouraging. So along those lines, published 3 books last year. A book called Beyond the Mother Church, which is my research thesis for my seminary master's thesis. and that will be in print very soon. It's already available in Kindle and Audible, so you can listen to it as well. And then the second book was Lessons Learned, which we've talked about already this morning, and then Cherished to the Utmost. So Cherished to the Utmost is a book about, it's a Christian romance novel. And so one of my goals is to create a devotional to accompany that book. So hopefully in the first half of the year, I'll get that published and maybe make that book available both with or without the devotional. And that's available in Kindle and Audible and print as well. So I want to not just be quick to move on to other projects, but I want to solidify and build upon some of the publishing projects that I've already worked on. I think that's key. I think so many people are out there just trying to crank out stuff and overlooking that there's probably deeper ground they could plow on the projects they've already worked on. So I don't want to just keep moving on into a new project, although I do have a couple other publishing goals around that. I think I'm going to publish at least one or two other items this year, whether they be books. They'll be books, but they may not be all written type books. They may be more in the long lines of different genres and again, devotional type things that where there's a lot of blank space, but you're guiding people into their thought processes and creativity. So anyway, I'm going to publish, I'll just say as a publishing goal, at least 2 publishable works this coming year in 2016. So that will be fun. And let's see, what else? FBA and yeah, that's really it. So I didn't mention all that in my last video about the goals. So I thought it would be appropriate because a lot of people are still wondering what I'm doing with my FBA business and my publishing business. So I wanted to give you some goals around that. I encourage you all to have some goals. Write them down because you're about 30% more apt to accomplish them if you write them down. And I'm really kind of a guy of action, so while I write them down, I probably am negligent to look at them as much as I need to. And so we'll all challenge each other to not only write them down, but go back and revisit them so you can keep yourself on track and focus. In this last week, speaking of focus, I came down with some issues with my back and my leg, and it really reminded me that I need to slow down. Whatever your age is, you're going to have a point where your body tells you you're doing too much. And the last 6 months, I've been trying to do way too much, and it culminated in me being in the emergency room this past week while I was supposed to be in corporate meetings out of town. So I was out of town, first of all, and then had to go to the emergency room out of town, which was not fun. And it's, again, my back from lifting boxes and maybe working out too much. Everything has to be done in balance, and then you've got to listen to your body. That's the key. So that reminded me, and now I'm even walking with a limp, and my right foot is still numb and tingly. Can really hardly feel it. I can move it a little, but I'm very weak there. So I'm a piece of work and recovery right now. And while I have all these lofty goals, I have to keep everything in check. And so, and family first. And again, if you go back to my last video, taking that one full day will really help recuperate your body and your mind and your spirit. So, all right, everybody, I'd love to hear some of your goals. Thank you all for supporting this. Share, like, and subscribe, please. And till next time, RB3's signing off. Take care.